Would you like a development project that has solid returns but lower risk and predictable outcomes? Well, then today we're going to talk about build-to-suit development. I've conducted dozens of these transactions and I've learned a lot along the way. And what we're going to do today is lay out a roadmap, step by step, of how to get through a build-to-suit project. What is build-to-suit development? Build-to-suit development is the simple art of a developer coordinating with several stakeholders in order to deliver a custom facility solution for the client and business it represents. Now look, you are solving a problem for a business. Whether it's a single location or you're leading a national rollout, you are the leader. Your sole focus is to solve your client's business problem, lead the team, lead the project, and do what's right for your client and your stakeholders. Who are the players? Well, the players are your client or the tenant you're building for, the developer who is leading the process, the land seller, the bank, the investors, the architects, engineers, all the groups doing the special reports. You are the nebulous driving the project, and you have all these different parties that you have to lead for a several-year process to get to a successful custom-built project that fulfills your client's needs. When is it most necessary? Well, it depends. In some situations, you're doing a one-and-done custom solution. In other situations, you're leading a national or a regional rollout of when the client wants to hit these open locations. Why is it important? Well, it's important because most of the businesses that you're going to represent in a build-to-suit can't conduct their business without the custom real estate solution. How do you do build-to-suit development? Well, it starts with two strategies. One strategy is you already own the land and you reach out to different users to figure out, will your business thrive here? Is this the right location? Can I build for you on my land? But a more common approach, and what I'm executing all over the country on, is a tenant-driven strategy, where you represent different businesses and you ask them, what is their need in a certain market? How do I go out and execute on that need? In order to do that, you need to understand that tenant's unique business strategy. What's their location? What's their square footage? What are their market goals? What are their demographics? Who are their co-tenancy? What are their other specific needs? Once you understand that, you go out nationally and you find the site. Once you find the site, you simply contract the existing building or the land. A long-term contract that has your optionality and flexibility to underwrite, finance, and close on the acquisition. Once you get the project under contract, then you move into your due diligence phase. A survey is often ordered. Your phase 1 reports, different specialty reports are brought in. At this point, you're working with your tenant. Does this facility meet your needs? What needs to occur? What is the timing? What are all the different things that have to happen for your tenant to approve and say, we want to move forward with this project? When you're having those discussions with your client, it's important to note, this is a servant leadership scenario where you're leading by doing for others. You have to focus as if you are the business. What are their needs and how do you solve that? Put yourself in their shoes when you're out nationally figuring out how to solve this problem and build this project. Once you're good with your project and your client has approved it and likes the solution, then you can move into figuring out how your debt and equity work. How are you going to capitalize the development budget? A loan, and then also investors. At that same point, you're working on your entitlement phase. You're bringing in your civil engineer, your land use attorney, and you're making sure that legally you can get the entitlements, site plan approval, permits, and anything different that you need from the state that's specific to approving your use on this piece of property. The next stage is working on the lease document. The lease document is an agreement between you and your client that clearly dictates what you're delivering, when you're delivering, and once you deliver it, who's responsible for the building, how much is the rent, how long is the lease, what are the annual increases, and what are the little nuances specific to your relationship with your client. After your lease is in place, you're typically going to go from the early underwrite stage with your design team, your architect, your engineer, to the advanced construction drawing phase. Your engineer is going to lead on your civil engineering, your site plan, your utilities, and all of your government approvals, while your architect is typically going to focus on your vertical improvements, taking you through working with a structural engineer, mechanical engineer, and plumbing, getting that team in place to draw the building. Once your construction drawings are complete for your site and your building, then you're going to move into the permitting phase. Once you go into the permitting phase, your city is then going through and approving your project. At that point, you're preparing to close on the acquisition of the property. In the advanced closing phase, you're also often taking your construction drawings and you're getting your general contractor on board. Your general contractor is a licensed GC that's going to go hire your subcontractors. That group's going to have a contract, project timeline, licensing, all their qualifications in order to make sure they're good. Once they're hired, you typically go to your bank, bring it all together, bring your investor in, sign all your paperwork, and close on the acquisition. Once you've accepted that you're likely going to close on the acquisition and move forward with the project, at that point you likely have your construction drawings complete. Then you move to hiring your general contractor. They need to price the project with a construction budget. They need to provide you with an AIA contract typically, a project timeline, license, qualifications, insurance, underwrite your general contractor, agree with their numbers, see their bids, sign the GC contract. From there, you're ready to go back to your bank. You have your investor, you have your lease, you have your reports, you have everything. Let's go close the acquisition. You form a single purpose entity, which is often a new limited liability corporation, just to own the property. You capitalize that with your equity partners on the operating agreement, your company on the operating agreement, and you bring in your debt and you get the deal closed. Build-to-suit development is simply focusing on your client's needs, arranging all the steps, and executing them along the way. If you conduct that, then what you will do is you will turn a non-performing asset like land or a vacant building into an income stream while fulfilling your client's business needs. It's still one of the lower risk forms of development, and it has stable income and an ability to make great returns. There's also an ability to scale it. And it's also something that happens in a good market or a bad market. Businesses still need build-to-suits, and you can still conduct them in the best and worst of times. Therefore, this is the type of development that is something that I recommend to get into in starting your development career, or if you're diversifying. For us, we have a portfolio of some extremely risky assets that we bought distressed, and we're figuring them out along the way, whether they're storage, hotels, apartments, mixed use, infill, and on the other side, we balance our portfolio by doing consistent build-to-suit work. And the best thing about build-to-suit work is it's very easy. If you focus on your client's needs and doing right and executing, the rest follows. If you want to learn more about commercial real estate, development strategies, investment strategies, and mindset, then check out some of our other videos.